Yes, mate, how's it going? My name's Lee, and welcome back to the FPL Punk YouTube channel, where we try to dominate FPL one game week at a time. Today's video is an early look at my transfer targets for game week 22, where we'll have a mini deep dive into specific players, whether that's players that are in form, those crazy differentials, or players that just for some unknown reason are going massively under the radar. Subscribe to the channel down below for more FPL content. Anyway, let's rock and roll.
Be strong.
Right, mates, what we're going to do today is highlight a few players and almost do like a tier ranking, like a tier pyramid. We'll start at the top with the S tier, and there's only one man who can fit this. He's a defender, I know, and he's been injured for most of the season, I know, but he's just so explosive. Estupinan, defender for Brighton, 5.1 million. He's still owned by 25% of the game. 25.5% of the game still owns Estupinan. Crazy run of fixtures, absolutely crazy run of fixtures. He's only played 8 times this season, but in that he's got 2 goals and 3 assists. He returns in over 50% of his games so far, and Brighton have just kept their first clean sheet. If you add clean sheets onto those goal involvements, his returns are just going to be absolutely massive. He's only got 37 points so far this season, but that's still racking up at a respectable 4.6 points per game. In his next 5, he's got Luton, Palace, Spurs in 24. I still don't think it's a bad fixture for someone who's as attacking as Estupinan. Sheffield United in 25, Everton in 26, and they've still got a nice run of games after that as well. I think if you're looking at any Brighton assets, if you've already got Estupinan and you're still looking at the likes of Pascal Gross, or you taking a punt on a João Pedro, I don't hate anything like that, but if you can only make one transfer this game week, it would be Estupinan, and because of his price range of 5.1 million, you can get to him from almost anybody. Like, even if you've got the likes of Kabore or Taylor, you've got that much money in the bank, it's so easy to get to Estupinan. I think it'd be criminal not to get Purvis, particularly for this run of games. You can stick him in, you can play him in every single game in the next 5, 6, 7 games. Plug and play, let him go. Purvis Estupinan, S tier, priority numero uno, get him in. So we've looked at Estupinan in the S tier, right up here, then we're dropping down ever so slightly into the A tier. Challengers to the throne, heir to that S tier rank, Dominic Solanke. Ball for Bournemouth, he's gotten a lot of hype about him lately. Like, he's got a lot of attention kind of his way, and rightly so. He's been in great form this season. 12 goals and 1 assist, 7.1 million forward for Bournemouth. Still owned by 22.2% of the game. Scored a lot of goals this season. He's doing really well under Areola, and they've got a decent run of games. I know they've got a couple of hard games within there as well, but West Ham in 22, then they've got Forest and Fulham in 23 and 24, and I still don't hate them, like in the likes of Newcastle away and Man City at home. They play quite attractive football, and I think they'll give Man City a good game. I can see them getting beat against Man City, but I can see it being a 4-1 and Solanke getting that goal, and that's all you really want. Like, it reminds me of Mitrovic from last season and Pukki from a couple of seasons ago, or whenever Norwich were in the league, where it doesn't really matter what the other team does. It doesn't matter whether the team wins, loses, or draws. As long as your forward scores goals, it doesn't really matter what else goes on. He's got 98 points this season at 5.2 points per game on penalties, but they've only had 1 penalty in like the last year or so, and they got that recently. So whether they're due another one anytime soon, I have no idea. And one of his big things, one of the things that I really, really like, is the fact that he does have hat-trick potential. I know that hat-trick was recently, and there's a bit of recency bias in there, but the fact that he got a hat-trick gives him that hat-trick potential, and I always want players that have got that hat-trick potential. You're looking at the likes of Haaland, Salah, Son, even Sterling to a degree a couple of seasons ago. Even Watkins got a hat-trick recently as well. So I'm always trying to look for those hat-trick potential players, and that's where the holes are going to come from. Like you saw with 17-pointer a few weeks ago. That's what you want. That's exactly what you want. This next one, we're staying in the A tier. Another Challengers to the Throne, fighting out with Dominic Solanke, Man City midfielder Phil Foden. 8 million, still 8 million right now. He's expected to go up anytime soon. Has got competition from De Bruyne in terms of his price rising, but he's 29.5% owned. He's massively in form. I know he blanks yesterday, but he still played really well and he's unlucky not to return, in my opinion. Before that, he had 3 or 4 returns in his last 3 or 4 games, so he's in form. That's something I really like about him. Got 96 points this season on 5.1 points per game. He's got a future double game week coming up in game week 25, as I've highlighted on the right hand side there. In game week 25, they're playing Chelsea and Brentford, both at home. This is it. This is exactly what you want. He's a very much a long-term pick. Looking forward to game week 25. surprising. He's only got 5 goals and 6 assists this season, but he's played a lot of minutes, and he started most games. I believe he started 17 or 18 games this season, and when he does start, he does tend to play majority of the game. He played 90 minutes yesterday, did unfortunately blank. That's one of those. But with this run coming up, Burnley at home, Brentford away, Everton at home in 24, then the double in 25, then Bournemouth away in 26. This just feels like one of those times when Man City are just going to start going on that run and just start churning out the wins. And Foden's going to be heavily involved in that, I think. He's just such a good player. He's in great form, and he just seems to be always involved. I think if anyone's going to miss out from that front line, it will be Alvarez. Haaland will go up front, and I think the midfield will consist of Foden, De Bruyne with Haaland up front, and maybe some kind of manoeuvring and rotation around in the other positions. But I think those three in particular are going to be pretty nailed for starts and in particular minutes. Moving on down to the B tier, and still a solid option. And you really think I'd go this whole video without including a Man United player? Diogo Dalot, first but not the last defender for Man United, 5.1 million, 3.4% owned. Going under the radar, I think. We've still got a nice run of games. Like look at the fixtures on the right hand side over the next 5. Wolves away, West Ham at home, Villa away. Yeah, tough game, but he's an attacking fullback. He can always do things in this game. Luton away, Fulham at home. We've still got a couple of nice games after that. Only got 58 points this season, and that's average at 3.2 points per game. Bit on the low side, but I just really like him. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist this season, and he's capable of the spectacular. Ten Hag likes him. He is a 90-minute man. He started every game he started this season in the Premier League. He's played 90 minutes. He started 17 or 18 times this season, and he's played 90 minutes in all of those. He is very much an attacking fullback, and he does create chances. We're just not very clinical as a team. I'm hoping things change. I'm hoping Rashford puts his shooting boots on. I'm hoping Garnacho starts getting all these starts and all these minutes. Hoping Højlund finds his shooting boots, and I can see his assists slowly start racking up. The thing with Dalot as well is that when we do keep clean sheets, he always does pretty well on the bonus. Like his baseline bonus is always around 20-25. Like he's always solid on there, and he's always in with a shout of bonus points. So if we keep clean sheets in the next 5, and I think we're capable of keeping maybe 2 or 3 clean sheets in this run of games, then Dalot will be involved in the points. As simple as that. Bit of an outside shot. I'm 5.1 million. I think I'd rather go for Estupinan. That's the reason why Estupinan is an S tier. But if you've already got Estupinan and you're looking for that maybe 4th or 5th defender, I think you could go much worse than looking at someone like Dalot. That's all I'm saying. Sticking with the B tier, KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, midfielder for Man City, 10.4 million. His price just seems to be skyrocketing right now. 10% owned, and he just seems to be going through the roof. I mean, I checked Fantasy Football Fix last night, and his increase in percentage per hour is around 60%. Like normally it's about 3 to 4, maybe 10% at a push. 60% for KDB, which is insane. I know he came off the bench, he got the goal, he got the assist. He's putting it out there a little bit to kind of go so kind of ham on someone like De Bruyne right now when he's just come back from such a big injury. The reason why he is B tier and not any higher or any lower is because he has just come back from injury. If this was a KDB that had been flying all season, he'd be S tier all day long, and he's just such a safe long-term pick with that double in 25, the exact same as Foden. I think he's going to get a lot of minutes coming up now. Might not get starts in the next couple, but I think he's going to be primed to start in game week 25 with that Chelsea and Brentford at home fixtures. And for any kind of doubters out there that think, like, I'm not sure how to do it, still remember, it's still KDB. It's KDB. Like, what are we doing? Like, just stop messing about. This is he's still the same player. He's still an absolute machine. Still an absolute magician with the ball at his feet. Goals, assists, everything runs for him. They've missed him massively. Wait till Haaland's back and wait till De Bruyne is absolutely purring, and it's going to be magical at Man City once again. Absolutely pains me and kills me to say, but what a player! One of the all-time Premier League greats, and sorry Lampard or Gerrard. KDB's next to Scholes in that midfield. That's all I'm saying. So what a player! If you want that kind of placeholder for the Salah and the Son, and you're not sure what to do, I think going to KDB is a nice option, a little sidestep. The only thing I'm saying is when Salah and Son get back around game week 24, 25, do you really want to transfer out KDB in game week 25 when he's got the double for Salah, who's also got the double? It's a lot of money to put into midfield if you're not going to keep him for that double. So have that in mind if you are going to make this transfer, and if you are looking at Son and Salah for around game week 24, 25. KDB might not be the one to go for, and you might have to be forced to look at the likes of Foden or Alvarez or Haaland instead. Dropping on down to the C tier, and we've got Richarlison, midfielder for Spurs, potentially playing number 9 for Spurs. This is the big thing about him. 6.9 million, 10.9% owned. The only reason why he's in C tier is because Spurs have just got Timo Werner, and I think that will impact his minutes. He can only play about 50-60 minutes in my opinion. Like, he's very much a one-half player, and he looks absolutely gassed and knackered in every second half that I've ever seen him. His pressing has gone, his intensity is gone. I just don't like him as a second half player, and I think that's the reason why I've put him down as a C tier. But the thing is, with somebody like this, with that midfielder playing out of position as number 9, you get that high risk, high reward. High risk because his minutes might be impacted by other players, by the likes of Timo Werner. But if Richarlison can do the damage when he is on the pitch, you get that high reward. Got 73 points this season at 4.3 points per game. Now, a lot of that has come in maybe the last 10 games or so, the last 5 or 6 games. And he has got 6 goals and 3 assists. And like I said, 5 goals in the last 5 appearances. So that's heavily inflated by the last few games. But something that I do really like, with Son going off to the Asian Cup, potentially on penalties, it's huge. Like, we all know how important and how powerful penalties can be in FPL. They've still got a nice run of games: Brentford at home, Everton away, Brighton at home. As an attacking fixture for someone like Richarlison, I think it's a tough game for Spurs in general, but as an attacking fixture for both teams, I don't think it's a bad game. That's the reason why I put it as a green fixture. Now, I think Wolves away, with Wolves being very resolute, they're not known to concede a lot of goals, and then that's the reason why I put it as a grey fixture. I just think that's going to be quite a tough game, and that might be decided by either 1 or 2 goals. The game could easily end 1-1, and Richarlison's not involved at all. So I think that's going to be quite a tough game. Chelsea wide open, score goals, concede goals. I think that'd be a really good game between Spurs and Chelsea, and hopefully we get a repeat from last time when Spurs went down to like 3 men or whatever it was, injuries and red cards galore. Absolutely mental game. Anyway, Richarlison, C tier player, C tier transfer. I think if you've got him, you stick with him, you keep him. Just be wary that he is going to have his minutes impacted by someone like Timo Werner. I think he'll only get 60 minutes a game from now on, but I think for that he could still do the damage in that time. Don't hate him. Richarlison, C tier transfer, high risk, high reward. Last up in the C tier, Alejandro Garnacho. Anywhere I can, I'm going to get Man United players involved. That's all I'm saying. And he's very much a budget enabler, and he's similar to Richarlison, high risk, high reward. When he plays, he's looked very, very good for us. He's looked very sharp for us. Midfielder for Man United, 4.8 million, which I absolutely love. It gives you so much money in the bank and be so flexible elsewhere in your team. Only owned by 5.6% of the game. 3 goals, 2 assists. 2 of those goals came against Villa in the last game, and his absolute wonder goal over a kick against Everton. 55 points this season, 3.1 points per game. He's on no set pieces, he's on no penalties, he's on nothing. That's the only thing I don't like about him. He makes it very, very good first sub on your bench, and in our kind of easier games, is very much a play. We've got a decent run of games similar to Dalot from an attacking point of view. Probably all our games are probably decent. Wolves away might be a little bit tough. But I don't hate that from a wide player. Hopefully he can get involved somehow. West Ham at home, Villa away, Luton away, Fulham at home. If you're looking for that budget enabler to kind of move some money around, and you want to go to KDB, and you've got the likes of Salah and Son, but you want to keep money in the bank for Haaland, I think going for Garnacho and Garnacho and KDB, keeping that money in the bank for Haaland in the future, I think it's a very viable strategy. Alejandro Garnacho, 4.8 million, C tier transfer, Manchester United star boy. It's a decent pick, mate. Budget enabler, decent pick. Have a think about it, consider him. Right, mates, that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. So we just highlight a few different players in a few different positions of what I consider to be the most important transfers for any team right now. And we went for that S tier, priority numero uno, and worked our way down A tier, B tier, C tier, looking around some punts and some mini differentials along the way. Players I think are going massively under the radar. Try to include as many as we can. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and leave a comment down below. Have a good day, peace and love.